Andrey Petrov is the president of the International Arctic Social Sciences Association. He's also a professor at the University of Northern Iowa. And I asked him about China's vision of a polar Silk Road.
In terms of the Silk Road and the polar Silk Road, is of course a very interesting development in the sense that China now considers Arctic as a part of the large Belt and Road Initiative. I think it would deliver impulse and development to the Southeast Passage, possibly in the future Southwest Passage and other transportation routes in the Arctic. I think from the standpoint of the Arctic countries, it's an interesting and interesting development that may bring them together with China to improve infrastructure and build future development in those places. Of course, Russia would be the country that would be probably working most closely with China on that, because Russia controls the Northeast Passage, the Northern Sea route that goes all the way from the Bering Strait to Murmansk, and that's where the most of the shipping would be happening. But it's also beyond that. It's also about fisheries. It's also about tourism. So the policy that was announced is quite widespread and covers a lot of areas in which many Arctic countries would be interested to participate.
Now, China is already coming out and saying that for those people or countries that may be concerns are unnecessary here. So what are the likely reactions from members of the Arctic Council?
Well, I think the reactions may vary, and I think if you look at the policy itself, it proclaims China's adherence to the international law and international bilateral treaties. So from that standpoint, I think concerns would not be necessarily very high. But if you think of the role that China might play, not all Arctic Council members are comfortable with having non-Arctic countries playing an important role in Arctic affairs. So I think to be successful, China in this policy could be working bilaterally and multilaterally within the Arctic Council with Arctic Council members to make sure that their concerns are addressed. I think that would be the most productive way to pushing this policy forward and making it coming to fruition.
So that being said, we know that the Arctic region is one that is being watched closely and protectively. Do you think it is possible for all these different countries with various interests to come to consensus and work together in that region?
Yes, and I think the proof to that is the Arctic Council itself. As you know, it's been there for a while, and actually this year it has been nominated to the Nobel Peace Prize exactly for its contribution in building consensus among very different countries and very different stakeholders. Of course, some issues outside the purview of the Arctic Council, and it would be probably outside of it in the future, but on issues related to environment, to sustainable development, issues associated with the search and rescue missions and other things, Arctic Council has demonstrated that it could achieve the result by all the countries working together. So I think yes, but as I said already, I think China, by working bilaterally as well as multilaterally with the Arctic nations, would be able to advance its policy successfully if it works together.
Andrey Petrov, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.